It's obvious right now what we're dealing with. This chop in the crypto market is temporary. It's not going to last forever. There's going to be a moment where this does break. It's more of a shorter term move. And then it's a question of what comes next. What I will say is very telling is actually this data I looked at this morning, that there are very clear games being played with ADA. We're seeing something that we have never seen before, and I want to show that to you guys. Also need to discuss this all-time high that took place, which is significant for ADA, and we are actually continuing to track this perfectly in terms of both ADA and BTC. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA right now, at the time of filming this video, is still at about 91 cents. We're just kind of chopping around. We're up, we're down. And I saw a couple comments of people freaking out being down at 90 cents. Guys, we're at the same prices we've been at every single day for the last week. It's not really surprising. We're testing trends. We're seeing how support is, and we're waiting for US money to wake up, make a move at the time of filming this video. And again, hopefully it's a buying move. That's what the trend has tended to be. When we come down, test support, as long as we hold, we tend to get a nice bounce off of it, right? And what we're dealing with in the market right now is some games, some manipulation. They're trying to obviously cause people to capitulate and dump their positions, thinking that the run is over and it's not going to extend. And, we'll obviously see what happens from this, but I'll show you guys something in a moment that again is very telling. But I did want to show you this data because ADA is doing something from an exchange supply standpoint that we have never seen. And what we've dealt with over the last week is some very clear games. Inflows, outflows, inflows, outflows, up and down, alternating every single day, riding the wave. You guys can see that back here. This is strange. Never seen this before. In fact, most exchange inflows to ADA or exchange inflows with ADA take place in kind of these smaller clusters. And then we return back to big outflows taking place. All right. Now, why that's the case is, again, we have to remember that ADA holders have very high conviction, one of the longest average hold times in the entire crypto market, unwilling to dump their positions at these ungodly low prices, right? And I will say that it's very strange for this to be taking place. And this is probably why we're seeing some of this uncertainty in terms of price. Now, that being said, even though we've had some of those exchange inflow days, they've been completely enveloped by the outflow days. Outflows are very heavily outweighing anything flowing to exchanges. And what that means is that, again, that exchange supply is just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. There's less and less and less of it. In fact, we look at these weekly flows here, guys. I just want to show you, we have not had an exchange inflow week, green week, since all the way back here in late February. Okay. So that's a good sign, showing that people are staying convicted. Their confidence is still high. So that's great, but it's very clear that there is some manipulation that's taking place. Now, that being said, there are some good things that are still working in our favor. We actually had a new all-time high in terms of ADA futures, actually crossing over $6.96 billion. This was just a few days ago. And why this is so significant is it shows you that there's a lot of interest and a lot of betting that are going on in terms of ADA. We obviously talked the other day as well about ADA hitting a new all-time high in terms of open interest. So I think ADA is being looked at in a very different way. Again, there's a lot more volume than what we've been seeing. There's a lot more interest, a lot more optics, a lot higher or a lot larger narratives than what we've dealt with throughout most of this market cycle as well. And I think that's something where it's making people look at ADA just a little bit different. And that's a good thing, okay? Because you guys remember, sentiment surrounding ADA and not been good for a very long period of time. So obviously with that changing, that can put a little more wind in our sails and create the next extension that we're waiting for. And what I want to show everybody right here, and I think I showed this, can't remember what day, but it was just a few days ago or so, Wyckoff accumulation model. We are tracking it to perfection. And right now it's looking like we're in this SOS phase. And the SOS phase, guys, brings some chop, some up and down, some game playing, some manipulation, right? As we're trying to create this extension into phase E. Now, understand that this doesn't have to take place today, doesn't have to take place tomorrow, next week. This could be into September. Who knows when it's going to happen, right? But it's showing you where things want to run to. They want to extend. And what really also kind of solidifies that that's what's trying to take place is BTC. BTC versus M2 Global Liquidity is tracking perfectly still, right? We are prepping for this next extension. This is where we're at right now, right? We got our surge to an all-time high. We got a little bit of retracement off of that. And now we're trying to create this next extension. Now, this doesn't mean we're going up to 155K, guys. Don't get it twisted, right? But BTC is doing its normal retest, the exact one we did in the early part of August, right before it extended to a new all-time high again. And it's a question of, confidence. What are we going to get from the markets? It looks like right now, US money is starting to sell at candle open, which sucks. Hopefully they get their crap figured out. But we're again trying to create a bit of a bear trap. We're trying to get the shorts to chase price down, which they have been doing. And now it's a question of, do we get what we saw last week? Do we see big institutional money buying yet again? Do we have the largest week ever in terms of institutional trading, which I think was last week as well? I'll look back into that again. But that's kind of where we're at, guys. Anything is temporary at this point. You're not slowing down adoption. There's big embrace taking place. We're accelerating towards rate cuts, probably ADA spot ETF approval coming in the not so distant future as well. So that's kind of where we're at. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.